Hey guys, BlugoblinX Kid here. Back again. Welcome back to another comic review. As I promised you guys, I was going to do the next vid. I told you I'd have my review up for the books that came out for the first week of June 1st. But if you probably saw at the beginning of this vid, yes, goddamn 2016, you're killing me right now. Um, we lost another legend today, and this is somebody very close and special with me. He's one of my idols, and we lost him. The world lost another legend. The great Muhammad Ali passed away, 74. Much love and respect to the Ali family. My heart goes out to them, and yeah, this is really being a suck-ass year, uh, very much. But let's try to get some positivity into this, okay? And I'm here to give my review for the books that came out that I picked up for the week, for this week. Here we go. So I got some DC, I got some Marvel, and I got some independent. I'm going to start off with the DC books and with independent this time around. Alright, so I only got 3 DC. And we're going to start this off with none other than Batman Rebirth. Tom King, Schneider. Uh, very much enjoyed this. Very much enjoyed this. I knew Tom King could nail Batman. Uh, it was no question that he couldn't. But what I really appreciated about this book was the fact that what they did with the Calendar Man. I was like, okay, that's very interesting. I like that idea. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was very interesting. The way they really kind of put the twist onto the character. But I also like what Bruce is doing with Duke, um, the kid who was part of We Are Robins, the main, that I guess he was one of the main stars of the book. Bruce goes on to tell him, like, look, I don't want you. I'm not training you to be Robin. You know, he's not training to be Robin. He's training to be something else. And that kind of sparks Duke's interest. We get to see the costume that Duke wears. Um, but other than that, you know, it was pretty much a standard issue from there. You know, just kind of giving us a little bit of a tender of what is to come with Mr. King's run. And no, pretty solid, nothing really to complain about. Um, very good indeed. Batman Rebirth. All right, let's move on to Green Lanterns Rebirth. Yeah. uh Johns, Humphrey, Van Shriver, Benz, Wright, all these people do some work. I recognize Ed Benz's artwork real quick. um I like this. This was, out of the DC books that I got, this would probably be the best for me. Um, I like the story that they were telling. It was almost like someone is monologuing the of kind of giving us a data and, you know, reminder of all the Earthling Green Lanterns. And I like that they put that emphasis on the human Green Lanterns. Why are there so many Earthling Green Lanterns? I thought that was interesting. We don't know who's talking. We don't know who's, but it really gave us an indication, like, okay, something is going on. And we enter Simon Boz and we enter Jessica Cruz. And I like that both question, why are they Green Lanterns? Why? So, and I like when they interact with each other. It felt more like they're not buddy buddy, like, hey, fellow Green Lantern, how you doing? You know, things like that. No, it was more of like almost Simon came off like, well, I'm not the rookie, you know, almost in a sense like measuring a measuring stick contest. Like, I've been a Green Lantern longer than you, so you follow my rules. Um, but I like what Hal did in this issue to kind of give us an indication of why they are a partner, why they're going to be a partnership, and also indication of why they joined the Justice League. I like that what Hal did. What I will spoil in here is that Hal gave Simon and Jessica a test of seeing how well they can work together. He tested them. I'm like, is that a manhunter? Manhunter? I thought they were all wiped out, and it was a test. And unfortunately, both Simon and Jessica failed it. And so I love what Hal did. He actually told them to take out their lanterns, and he actually merged their lanterns together. So when they have to charge, they have to be together, everything like that. I'm like, okay, this is giving me, I'm liking where this is going. And we do get to see who is talking at the end. And yeah, you should already know. But this was really good. I very much enjoyed this. I am looking forward to Green Lantern, Green Lanterns #1. Very good issue. All right, and we move on to Superman Rebirth. Peter Tomasi, Doug Menke does the artwork. And this was very heartwarmingly touching. Um, Superman, pre-52 Superman, is talking to New 52 Lana Lane. And he's at the grave, and he hears somebody at Superman's grave, this world Superman, and he's telling Lana, like, look, I'm just here waiting for him to come back to life. And we get the sense that Lana may have some powers, and it's starting to maybe put two and two together why Lois is going to be Superwoman now. But what makes it really cool is just the storytelling, in my opinion, of how Clark is telling the story to Lana about how he came back to life. We get a beautiful spread of him fighting Doomsday, and you get to see when he died, when he was brought back to life, and then he starts going into detail of the regenerative matrix. And unfortunately, that's not available on this world, and unfortunately it's not. But I love what Superman, pre-52 Superman does in the Fortress of Solitude for Clark in terms of a memorial, as well as him realizing that in his Fortress of Solitude, remember, he only had a statue for Jor-El and Laura, and uh, Laura. I'm always forgetting his mother's name. You know, uh, and he saw that there's also a statue. There's next to it. It's also Jonathan and Martha Kent. And I thought, and he was like, "Wow, he actually did that." I thought that was really interesting to me. There was really no action besides the backstory, the flashback of the battle with Doomsday, and him explaining to Lana like how much I loved that storytelling, because he really broke it down. He was like, it was probably the first time where he actually felt fear for his life. And I was like, that's the kind of writing I like from Superman, was when you don't always make him that he can just beat anybody. You showcase he's got a sense of feelings and things like that. And I thought Mr. Tomasi did a good job with this. And I got the variant cover. I like that cover better. But this was really good. Very touching. All right, move on to Marvel. And we move on to A-Force, #6. Um, uh, the team is still with a Thor Dazzler. from another world, and they're still battling her nemesis called the Countess, and she has uh, Nico in control and everything like that. What This was a funny issue, but what I didn't like the artwork. The artwork made was just a little too cartoony. I mean, look at Carol here. She looks like a man, and I'm just like, ugh, like no, it's not right. More importantly, she looks like, remember the character from Ren and Stimpy called Powdered Toast Man? That's how her jawline looks. I was like, no, that don't look right. But it's funny that this Dazzler has Mjolnir and she's like Thor, so she's also a mutant and she's got the power of Mjolnir with her. So I thought that was pretty cool. But the Countess is kind of like just manipulative. I don't want to say bitch, but that's pretty much what she is. And it ends kind of badly for the team, especially because what the Countess does to Jennifer. But other than that, not bad. Just wish they brought back the original artist back. All right, let's move on to all new, all different Avengers. Number 10, Mark Waid. I'm hearing a lot of people just really starting to say they have a lot of high standard for this book because it's Mark Waid, and Mark Waid is one of my favorite writers, and I've always said he always gives you gold. Um, However, with this issue, I'll have to say that it wasn't really gold he was giving us. I keep thinking he's saving something really big, um, but he's trying. He's really trying with this book. Uh, and it has nothing to do with the lineup. It has nothing to do with that. It just feels like he's saving something. But in this issue alone, the team is out in space trying to find Sam's father, and it goes from there. Uh, More importantly, we get the team runs into somebody that I was very happy to see, and I'm not gonna ruin it who it is, but I'll give you a clue. His name begins with an A. Move on to all new Wolverine number 9. Tom Taylor still fantastic job with this title. Um, Laura's inside the belly of Fing Fang Foom, trying to get Old Man Logan out of it. Uh, and it's just Fing Fang Foom wrecking havoc. Iron Man, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel get involved and go from there. Gabby is still great, but more importantly, we get to see something at the end that was just like, okay, but just fun. All right. Amazing Spider-Man, number 700, and I'm losing count. I've lost count. 730 something. I know probably in 730. Spider-Man versus the Invincible Iron Man. All right, look. Slot. All right. First of all, the whole thing with Regents is getting interesting to me. And it's kind of funny that already they find out who Harry, Mary Jane, and even Betty know who Regents really is, and I won't spoil that. But what I really want to talk about is what Slott is doing with Peter and Iron Man. Totally out of character, totally inappropriate just to see them fight. Really, Slott? I put it on my Facebook. I put a post that said, Tony, you deserve that, you dickhead. And I meant that, but but what I didn't also, what I meant also was that, yeah, he deserved it, but it was like, dude, this is way out of character for Tony. Basically, Spider-Man, Peter goes to see Miles because he feels that Miles is his protege. He's calling him up. Miles is my protege, and things like that. And Iron Man is there, and he tells Peter that I upgraded Miles's web shooter from Parker's old crappy. He basically is talking shit about Peter Parker because for some reason he doesn't know that Peter Parker and Spider-Man are them. And it's just like one after another. It's just like, what the hell? And then it's almost like, once again, my dick is bigger than yours, and it's just like, and fight. And it was just like, it's even played up in it. Like, people are saying, why are they fighting? Oh, they're superheroes. They do it all the time. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, slut. I'm like, really? And it's to the point, it's just like, the only thing that keeps me on this book is my loyalty to the character. It's like, Slot has got to get off this book. I'm getting tired of it. It's really, he's really pushing my patience with this title. And I'm a patient guy, but he needs to get off this book. If whatever Dead No More, whatever is his final issue, his final arc, God, please get off this book. You're ruining this. You're forgetting the morals of Spider-Man altogether, and even Tony Stark is just really badly written. And I felt really bad for Miles to just have to sit there and watch this, and he's just like, he even walks away, and it's like, you guys are acting like children, and it's true, and it's just like, it's not funny, Slot. It's like, yo, get off the book. When you actually write, oh, they're superheroes, they do it all the time, or it's just like, whatever. All right, let's move on to Civil War 2, number 1. Bendis and David Marquez does the artwork. Very good artwork by Marquez. Uh, Bendis, sir, we get the deaths, or the death. I swear to you, Bendis, you better not. It's bad enough you killed this character, but don't kill her off, please. Um, we're starting to see the build, I guess, between Carol and Tony in this, and the new young Inhuman. I'm forgetting his name. His name is Ulysses, and basically what he can do, what his Inhuman ability is, he can see into the future, so he can see things that may be possibly happening. And before that, we have the Avengers and pretty much many of the other heroes, even the X-Men and everything like that, fighting a celestial being. And probably one of the best moments, and my friend Alana, she put it on her Facebook page. She took a picture of it, and she said, seeing Doctor Strange, Brother Voodoo, Wiccan, Scarlet Witch, Damian Hellstrom, and Magic together, banishing this, using their sorcery and magic against the celestial. She said it wet her pants. I have to agree with that. That was great, and it was just like, man, Marvel, why don't you have like a team that's just full of magical, heroes? I thought that was, but it was really good. But the death in here, it hurts, and it hurts a certain someone. If I point out who it is, you'll probably know who it is. So I'm not gonna spoil that for you. But not Bendis, not bad, not bad at all. You're setting up pretty well. Um, let's see where it goes from there with this. But like I said, I'm not gonna be getting everything Civil War 2. People did ask me once, what other Civil War stuff are you gonna tie-ins? I'm only getting 2 tie-ins. I'm gonna get the Spider-Man and I'm getting Hercules, and that's it. I'm not getting X-Men and I'm not getting anything else. But not bad. Guys, remember, codes are available if you want them. Invincible Iron Man. Number 10. I got the variant cover. Nice cover, right? Uh, Bendis. Yeah, Bendis and Mike Deodato, my boy, one of my favorite artists, still does a good job with this. We get to see the techno golem. That's what she's called. She's an inhuman that has the ability to control technology. Tony is undercover, deep undercover, his disguise, and I swear to you, uh, because of Mike Deodato's artwork, Tony's disguise, he looks like Luke Perry. Look at that. Somebody said James Franco. This looks more like Luke Perry, and I even tweeted it to Mike Deodato himself. I said Tony's disguise looks like Luke Perry. He favored it too. But the techno golem, she's pretty badass, and she wants to take over. She runs this organization that has techno like ninjas. Um, Rhodey is still in this. Rhodey even goes to the Avengers to tell him that Tony is alive, but he's deep undercover and he needs your help. We got to be prepared for this fight. And we're getting to see more of the new, I guess the young prodigy, Iron like prodigy character. I don't think she has even picked a name yet. Um, but also the stuff with Friday and Mary Jane was pretty good too. All right, moving on to Moon Knight number 3. Lemire Smallwood. Uh, is Mark Spector crazy? Is he seeing this or is he not? That's pretty much the basis of this once again. And I know, Marvel, you guys are really harping over that. Is Moon Knight insane or crazy? Mark Spector insane. It's like, why can't you guys kind of go back to the old, Moon Knight, where he's just the avatar to Khonshu, and it's not up in his head. But other than that, this, not saying it was bad. It was just that it's a lot of twists and turns. But I love that they're using a lot of the Egyptian deities in here, and I'm like, always really good to see. People like they had Amon, Anubis, things like that, and I'm like, ooh, I like that. But very good indeed. Not bad. Spider-Man 2099. Peter David, what do I have to say? He's killing it. This is his baby. Um, and Miguel is in the future of his world, and it's just like he sees the future version of the Sinister Six, and people like Venom and Doc Ock and Electro, even Green Goblin. But we find out some things that just are a little bit more than meets the eye, and as always, Peter David, king of cliffhangers. Yeah. Spider-Woman number 8. Something's fishy. Spider-Woman versus Tiger Shark. Yes, this does happen in this issue. It's Spider-Woman, talking out. This issue takes place after the events of Spider-Women, but she's still doing her job. She's glad to be back, getting back into the field. She's helping out because Tiger Shark is taking over a penthouse or something like that, and she goes in and there's just a back and forth fight between Jessica and Tiger Shark. I love that Porcupine is calling her and she's like, how much do I put it? And she's like, not now, I'm busy. I'm loving the fact that Jessica is a mom now. I like that she has little Jerry Drew and, things like that. And she talks about it. I love how she talks about, like, you know, I come home and I'm kind of bruised up or something like that. And it's like, I don't want to do this. But she talks about how she really enjoys being a mom and seeing her boy. And, you know, it's just very touching. A very touching issue from Hopeless and Rodriguez. Indeed. Last Marvel book is Spider Woman Omega. Hopeless and them do a good job with this. This wraps up this event between the girls and their fight against Earth 65 Silk and Earth 65 Silk, or uh, what is, I'm always forgetting Silk's real name. Um, Cindy Moon, excuse me. Yeah, Cindy Moon. She's got this gauntlet that's got different power sets in there, and she just using it. Uh, and of course, we know that Gwen still is not her. She doesn't have her powers back. Then there's a fight between both Cindy Moons, and when it comes down to just uh, Spider Gwen, it gets kind of interesting because then you start to see that kinda, yeah, without her spider powers, Gwen is really just an ordinary girl. I mean, she doesn't really know how to throw a punch without her power. I mean, she threw a punch at Cindy Moon and nearly broke her hand, or it's just like, yeah, you don't know how to throw a punch. And Cindy Moon is just really teasing her about that. Oh, she's like, oh, Gwen, what's the matter, Gwen? You don't know how to throw a punch and everything like that. Uh, until finally, her she gets her Gwen gets her ass handed to her in this book until her powers kick back in, and it's like, and that's where I'm just like, I really wish somebody actually would train her in hand-to-hand combat, maybe a little. Um, it ends on a touching note, and it kind of ends especially with uh, Cindy Moon of Earth 65 just basically in a cell and, you know, just being, messed up, just because she's in a cage. But a fitting end to this event, and that's all I gotta say. All right, move on to the indie books. I got 6 indie books, one from Boom, 3 from Dynamite, and 2 from ZENESCOPE. Let's start off with Boom, and we're starting off with Power Rangers Pink, number 1 of 6. This is the all uh the solo miniseries about the Pink Ranger, Kimberly. And I guess this is taking place somewhere after um, Kimberly, I guess, gave up being a Power Ranger. So I'm thinking that's kind of where it is. But she's in Paris. She's somewhere in Europe. And she calls her mom, and, mom's not answering the phone. So she drives all the way back to where her mother and stepfather stay. And it's like a ghost town. Nothing's going right, something's wrong. And then she starts seeing what's going on. These merman-like people are kidnapping, and Kimberly gets involved. Um, More importantly, she actually even finds her old communicator, contacts Zordon, and Zordon explains to her about that she still has a little bit of a dormant power left from the Pink Ranger, but she has to be wise to use it because it drains Zordon as well, and she does use it, and she gets kind of like this cool looking, sleek costume, which is really cool. And I love how Kimberly says, like, I forgot how much this felt so good, things like that. And she goes on a search to find the people of this town as well as her parents. Does she? Yes. Who stole her? I'm not gonna ruin, but it was interesting, and very, very good cliffhanger from Fletcher and Kelly Thomas. And I even liked Naloko's artwork in this. Very good. This was a good start to this miniseries. Power Rangers Pink. All right, moving on to Dynamite, and we're starting off with Ms. Fury, number 3. Karina Beachko and Jonathan Liu's artwork is beautiful in this, as always. I've always wanted to see Jonathan Liu do more artwork, interior artwork. He does a lot of exterior, just for covers. But in this, uh, okay, where do I go with this? Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Marla, Marla, Marla Drake, a Miss Fury right here, is dealing with some one heavy, ordeal. Still trying to figure out what with the marine array. Yeah, what is it again? I'm trying to remember the the Miranda key, the minor key, and some bad things don't go her way. We get a little bit more of a backstory, what she was doing in Brazil, and how that changed her. But it's the stuff with demons and things like that. I'm like, well, okay. And Marla's more like, are you real? Or are they real? Things like that, and it gets really trippy by the end of this. But like I said, Jonathan Liu's artwork was just beautiful in this. I was loving it. Miss Fury number 3, and we move on to the Shadow, Death of Margo Lane. The Shadow knows. The Shadow knows. The Shadow knows what lurks in the heart of men. Yeah, you gotta love that. This is written by Matt Wagner, and he actually does both the writing and the artwork. And this was very, very good. It just felt like classic Shadow that I love. And they're dealing with, the Shadow is dealing with the Red Empress, right? That's what it's called, right? The Red Empress and the Tong gang, and Marla is really kind of telling the story for us, and it's pretty much that the Shadow is dwelling deeper and deeper into figuring out who runs who the Red Empress is, who's running it. He's trying to cut the head off of this snake and finish it. But the artwork was very standard. It was pretty much. I mean, here's a little bit of art that I thought Matt Wagner drew Margo Lane very well. But a very good start to this mini. I believe it's a mini, and it makes me wonder, like, out of all of the Shadow's agents, why was Marla chosen to be the one to get? I guess she's gonna die. Uh, but very good. And keeping it with the Pope characters, Will Eisner's The Spirit number 11. Uh, Matt Wagner once again. uh, the Spirit and his gang basically, trying to remember her name, catch up to Sasha Spice, and bring her into justice because she's a thief and things like that, international thief, smuggler, you name it. And the Shadow and the Spirit and his gang are able to capture her. However, when all looks well, and Wagner does this pretty good, it showcased that just when you think you have everything under control, you don't, because then it goes south real quick for the Spirit, and it's not looking too good for the Spirit because Miss Spice's father wants her back, and he is at the mercy of her father. And I think there's one more issue left. I hope that's not the last of this, but other than that, good. All right, last two books, ZENESCOPE. Let's start off with Death Force, number 1 of 6. Job Buscema, Mark Rosette, and Walter Pereira. Vengeance takes a form. All right, first of all, that cover, badass. This story is basically about a young police officer from Philly, uh, named Rick Murphy. Yeah, and he's a good cop. He's gonna be a father soon. He has a great career. He just started his career as a cop. He's got this great girlfriend. She's pregnant, things like that, and he's like a pretty good cop. You know, he's in the beginning we see him actually stop a suicide attempt. You know, a guy is about to commit suicide, and he's able to calm him down. Uh, and looks like everything is going his way. Unfortunately, there's a riot downtown in what part of Philly? Um, Trying to remember. Center City, uh, Philadelphia, and the team is called in. He's called in along with other officers who are kind of like the riot police. There's like a riot going on down there. It gets violent. Things go out of hand, and Rick and a partner of his find the chief of police down there, and they see something that they shouldn't have seen. Now I've seen storytelling like this before. Good cop sees something that he wasn't supposed to see. Now the higher up want to shut him up. He sees it, he runs, and pretty much from there, he calls his girlfriend and tells him, "Look, you got to get out of the house. You got to go to a safe spot where we met." Things like that. Unfortunately, she's followed. He is practically beaten to death, and I'm talking beaten to death. I think they broke his back. They did this. I'm just like, oh my god, and they just leave him for dead. And we don't know what happened. We think basically they killed his girlfriend and his unborn child, and that's how it ends with him head. It ends. The issue ends, guys, and I'll spoil this for you. It ends with Murphy's head in a fountain and blood just leaking out of into the water. I'm just like, ooh, but it's forming like a skull or so. So it's pretty good. Now, like I said, it even kind of gives us a little bit of indication of what happens to. It even says Rick Murphy is a regular guy who started a new family, a new career as a Philadelphia police officer. But when the rookie cop stumbles upon the wrong case, he triggers a horrifying tragedy as his life comes crumbling down. Devastated and broken, Rick is given the chance to seek vengeance on those who destroyed his life. Now, with a dark and mysterious power at his fingertips, Rick can seek the vengeance that he thirsts for, but will the darkness ultimately be too much for him to control? That's pretty much what is going on. Where I guess we're going to see that power in the next issue, but not bad. Not bad at all. And last but not least, Red Agent, number 5 of 5. This was interesting. This was the end of this miniseries. Seeing this version of Red Riding Hood. But the problem I had with this issue was I kind of ran through this really fast. I read this really quick. It really felt really fast. I went quick, 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 quick. But the team is able to stop the individuals and save um, what is her name? Mama, I believe that was her name. Uh, and able to, yeah, pretty much that. It was just felt more like a standard issue, kind of trying to finish off the story with big explosions, things like that. But nothing to it. All right, guys, that is all I have for this week. I will be back next time, as always, guys. And hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you guys next time, as always. And like I said, uh, much love and respect to Mr. Ali. The world lost the greatest, and he was the greatest, but he will always be the greatest, no matter what. But other than that, guys, you guys take care. I will see you guys next time. Take care.